According to traditional Islamic ideology, the Salah is a ritual prayer that is comprised of a specific sequence of recitations and a specific sequence of movements that are performed multiple times throughout the day. But the question is, does the Quran actually confirm this idea? Does the Quran teach that there is a ritual prayer called Salah? Let us find out. So the very first question we would ask ourselves is, where are the details of the ritual Salah in the Quran? Naturally, we would expect something of a comprehensive step-by-step list or a sequence as to how to observe or to perform the ritual Salah. But instead, we do not see that in the Quran. Instead, when it comes to the Salah, we see something entirely different in the Quran. But before delving into this, let us address some of the common claims said by those who say that the ritual Salah is actually in the Quran. The first common claim is that the ritual Salah is explained in the Hadith. And as Muslims, it is our duty to follow the Quran alone, because the Quran is a book of guidance. It is complete. Nothing has been left out of it, and it is fully detailed. In fact, in 18:109, God says, "Say, if the sea were an inkwell for the words of my Lord, then the sea would run out before the words of my Lord would run out," indicating that the Quran is all that we need for salvation. It is all that we need for details. God also says in 1689 that He has sent down the book as a clarification for all things. So if we do believe God, then that means that all the details that we need about Salah is mentioned in the Quran. So we can easily dismiss this very first claim. The second claim is that the ritual Salah has actually been passed down. And they justify this idea using 16:123, where it says, "Then we inspired to you, you shall follow millat of Abraham." And they say that the millat here means that refers to the rituals, the Salah, Zakat, the Hajj, and fasting. They have all been established by Prophet Abraham and subsequently passed down to us from one generation to the next. According to this idea, this means that the Salah started at Abraham, to Moses, to Jesus, to Muhammad, until this very day, perfectly preserved approximately 4,000 years later. But there's a huge problem with this idea. We learn from Surah 2 verse 170 as well as many other verses in the Quran that we are not allowed to follow our parents' religion blindly. And in Surah 3 verse 7, God says, "You shall follow what has been sent down to you from your Lord and do not follow besides him any supporters." This means that any rituals that have been passed down to us from one generation to the next but cannot be verified in the scripture, that means it is not from God. That means it does not belong in the system, the deen of God. So let's address this idea of in 16:123, where it talks about millat Ibrahim. The word millah in Arabic comes from the root word ma-la-la, or millah, and it means to dictate. That's all that the word means. So God is saying, "Then we inspired to you, you shall follow the creed, the dictation of Abraham," which is, in the very next word, monotheism. This is all that the dictation of Abraham is, which is monotheism. It has nothing to do with rituals. So the idea or the notion of the rituals having passed down from since the time of Prophet Abraham, using the word millah, is incorrect, Quranically speaking, and therefore we can automatically and easily dismiss this second claim. The third claim is quite interesting because, according to one website that I have visited, the ritual Salah is actually spelled out in the Quran. So what I have done is I have listed all 114 chapters of the Quran so that we can get a visual perspective as to what this article claims. According to this article, in Surah 29, the purpose of Salah is spelled out. And in Surah 20, we are to remember God during Salah. And in Surah 5, the ablution for Salah is mentioned. And in Surah 2, the direction for the Salah is mentioned. But note that the red arrow, any red arrows that you see here, means that the word Salah does not actually appear in the verse. And in the same surah, but later on, God tells us how to begin the salah. And in Surah 4, God tells us to stand and prostrate during salah, but the word bowing does not occur. Instead, in Surah 22, the word bowing occurs, but the word salah does not. In Surah 18, we are to recite from the Quran during salah. And in Surah 17, we are to use a moderate tone during salah. But in 56, the glorification during the bowing position is mentioned, but the word salah does not occur here. In Surah 87, the glorification during prostration is mentioned, but the word salah does not occur here. And in Surah 3, the shahada is mentioned, but not associated with the word salah. And in Surah 10, the ending of salah, but again, the word salah does not occur here. And in Surah 62, the Friday salah is mentioned. In Surah 11, the number of salah is mentioned. In Surah 17, also the number of salah is mentioned. And in Surah 24, the salah names. This is according to one website that I have that says that the ritual salah is actually mentioned in the Quran. I hope you see what the problem is here. The problem is God is giving us a jumbled mess as far as our ritual salah is concerned. Let me ask here, if the ritual salah is such an important topic, why is God giving it to us in such a jumbled mess where we have to kind of puzzle piece everything together to try to figure out what the ritual salah is? My conclusion to this is that the only way anyone could observe a ritual salah, such as the one that you see here in the top right corner, is through a confirmation bias. There is no other way anyone could gather a ritual salah from this. If you had no idea what the salah was and you opened the Quran, there's no way you can gather from the verses, these jumbled messed verses, a ritual in any way, shape, or form. So to me, this common claim can also be dismissed.